Guys, we all know Gen Z is one of the most depressed generations. We're one of the most anxious generations. We're one of the loneliest generations. And the amount of suicides are too high. Guys, we crave community. We want friends. We want relationships. And we hide behind our cell phones and the rest of the technology that surrounds us. We are struggling. We are not thriving. We look at the people on social media that post all about their perfect lives, and we want that. We want to have the lives that they have, but we don't. We can't stop comparing ourselves to others. We struggle with those that have the things that we don't have. We want more things, and we're never gonna have enough. And maybe there's a reason for this. Guys, Gen Z, about 30% of Gen Z say that they're religiously unaffiliated. 50% say that they don't regularly go to a religious service. And around 50% say that religion is unimportant to them. Gen Z, we have so much potential. We have the phones in our pockets. We have social media. And guess what? Gen Z is probably one of the most influential generations to have ever existed. So what would happen if we found our purpose? What would happen if we found a cause to get behind? What would happen if we found our identity in Jesus Christ? What would happen if we stopped being ashamed of the gospel? In 1 Timothy 4:12, Paul says, "Let no one despise you for your youth, but set the believers an example in speech, in conduct, in love, in faith, in purity." What would happen if we woke up from this sleep that we're in? We woke up from this dream, this nightmare that we're in. What would happen if we found our purpose and our meaning in this world? Our generation has so much potential. We have so much influence. What would happen if we use that influence, if we use that potential for the gospel? I believe that Generation Z is a revival generation. What would happen if we all were united in the gospel? If we were no longer ashamed of the gospel, if we entered our schools and our colleges and we were bold about the gospel? We have to go and tell others about the gospel. We have to find all of our friends that are also believers and get together and pray for Gen Z. In 20 to 40 years, we're gonna be running the world. What's that gonna look like? If we follow down the path that we're on right now, that's not gonna be a pretty world. But what would that world look like if we started now as a revival generation? That we were a generation known for being on fire for Jesus. If we went out into the public and proclaimed the gospel, what would the world look like in 20 to 40 years? We have so much influence. We have so much potential. We just need to snap out of this hold that depression and anxiety and loneliness and comparison and want has put us in. We need to find truth in this book. It's all in here. We need to be on fire for God right now. And we need that fire to spread. Generation Z, I believe, is a revival generation. Let's go and let's make that a reality. The world needs revival. The world needs Jesus. So let's go and let's make that happen. Let's make a change in the world. Let's be a generation after God's own heart. What would the world look like if that happened?